welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Thursday, February 18th, and we're going to be going over some DFS draft picks for today on both FanDuel and Draft Kings. Smaller slate today, only 3 games, so it's going to be a little bit tougher to find value, but we're going to try our best to do so overall. But before we get started, we're going to talk about yesterday's pick. On the DraftKings side, we had DeLon Wright, $6,000, looking to get about 30 fantasy points out of him. He got us 28. That was a miss, but probably a miss that didn't kill you overall. There ended up being quite a bit of value on yesterday's slate with Ben Simmons missing. Got a lot of guys having some pretty big games. Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Domantas Sabonis. Then we had David Nawab, $4,300, looking for about 22 fantasy points out of him. 26.5 points, that was a hit. Then we had Sadiq Bey, $5,500, looking for about 27, 28 fantasy points out of him. He was a hit. That one was real close to 5 times value, though. Just on the underside, I'm still going to call it a hit, though. Julius Randle, this is probably the biggest miss of the day overall. $9,500, looking for about 47.5 fantasy points out of him. 37.25 is what he got, so he was a big miss there. And then Willie Herman Gomez, he's somebody that I did like early on in the day with Steven Adams possibly missing. Steven Adams played in this game, but then he actually hurt his ankle as well. So Willie Herman Gomez, I think he had 17 rebounds in this game, which is pretty insane. He's actually a pretty good player when he gets on the court. His problem over the years has just been getting on the court. For that $3,800 price tag that he had, we were looking for about 19, 20 fantasy points out of him. Blew it out of the water with 32.25, so that was a massive hit there. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Campazzo, $3,500 min price tag. I liked him better when Monte Morris and Gary Harris weren't playing. Kind of pivoted off him myself in a lot of lineups, but he still paid off 21.7 fantasy points. That was a hit there. Terrence Ross, he's a guy I liked really early on in the day. Then Evan Fournier ended up starting in this game, so that kind of hurt his value a little bit. But if you stuck with him, played him, you were looking for 29 points out of him. He got 51.2 coming off the bench. That was a massive, massive, massive hit. So if you played Terrence Ross yesterday, you were doing pretty well. Then we had Jeremy Grant, $7,200. 36 is what you were looking for out of him. He got 45.4. Nice to see him get back on track in this game, honestly. He's been kind of hit or miss when we've been playing him lately, but he's shown that upside once again with Blake Griffin out, so he was a hit. Bam Adebayo, $9,100. You're looking for 45, 46 fantasy points out of him. So he was a hit. He got exactly 45. And then Robert Williams, $100 over that minimum price tag. You're looking for about 18 fantasy points out of him. Got to 19.1, so he was a hit there. So pretty good day overall once again. And then with that being said, we're going to look at the injuries real quick. So we're going to start off with the Toronto Raptors. Kyle Lowry is questionable in this game. We'll see if he ends up playing. If he doesn't play, Fred VanVleet is going to be a must-own today pretty much. Pretty decently priced on both sites. And on a slate like today, somebody that could have tremendous value, tremendous upside like that at, that $8,000-ish price range, that's just too good not to play, honestly. Pascal Siakam probably gets a boost up as well. Watanabe's still questionable. I don't think he ends up playing. Terrence Davis could be in the mix too as well if he ends up in the starting lineup somehow. Then on the Bucks side, they got Drew Holiday down as a game time decision. I think he's still going to be out once again, so no real changes there. Brooklyn Nets, the biggest one there is Kyrie Irving, whether or not he's going to play. He had that little bit of a back issue, I believe it was last time. So if he plays, you can definitely play him. If he doesn't play, definitely gives a boost up to a couple different guys. We'll see if Tyler Johnson ends up starting again. Landry Shamet could definitely be in play once again if Kyrie Irving is out. TLC is a game time decision. Not sure what his injury is, but looks like he could be trending towards out. Then on the Lakers side, obviously, LeBron James is probable once again. Anthony Davis is still out, so no real changes there. Obviously, the most interesting thing in this game is to see if Markieff Morris or Kyle Kuzma starts. I think Kuzma probably ends up starting against a smaller Brooklyn team in general. Then for the Miami Heat, pretty much the same injuries that we've been having. They have Goran Dragic listed as a game time decision. Still don't think he plays in this one, though. Then where the most value on the slate probably is going to be this Kings lineup. No Harrison Barnes, no Rashawn Holmes. So that opens up some playing time for some other guys. The lineup that they do have right now is Corey Joseph still starting. He started the last game. Played pretty well, honestly. If he's getting minutes, he's definitely in consideration. If Halliburton's going to be in consideration. Fox, somebody's got to score the ball in this game, honestly. Buddy Hield's in consideration. Glenn Robinson, they have starting right now. We'll see if that ends up happening or not. Bagley without Harrison Barnes gets a boost up as well, playing some center, playing some power forward once again. Hassan Whiteside definitely a play, especially over on DraftKings. But with that being said, we're going to get into today's picks, talk about the DraftKings side. So first off, we got one of those Kings, and it's Corey Joseph, $3,900, looking for about 20 fantasy points out of him. If he ends up starting again, if he ends up getting, close to the minutes that he's been getting lately, he's definitely going to be a value, definitely get you over that 20-point threshold that you're looking for. Then I got Fred VanVleet. I don't know if Kyle Lowry is going to play in this game, honestly. And Fred VanVleet, $7,900. You're looking for about 39.5, 40 fantasy points out of him. That's just about what he's averaging. If Kyle Lowry misses, he could definitely be a major value there. OG Anunoby came back last game, kind of surprisingly, honestly. $6,000, pretty priced down for him, averaging about 30 fantasy points per game. Played pretty good minutes last time, so I'm not really concerned about him coming off that injury. Marvin Bagley, kind of like we talked about, I really do like him kind of on both sides. If he's going to get closer to 28 minutes, I think he's definitely going to be in play today. And for $4,800, you're only looking for him to get about 24 fantasy points. I think he can get you over that 25 pretty easily. Hassan Whiteside, $4,600, looking for 23 fantasy points out of him. He's getting the minutes now. He's productive when he's out there. If he's on the court when Adebayo isn't, I think that it helps them out even more. But overall, if you go with these five guys, you have $22,800 left over, $7,600 per player. So you can definitely spend up on a James Harden, a LeBron James, a Giannis Antetokounmpo if you want to. You got other guys like Chris Middleton, Jimmy Butler that can definitely fit in your lineup as well. Kind of mix and match throughout the day. As always, we're going to be watching out, see if any value opens up. So on the FanDuel side, we're going to start off at the point guard position. De'Aaron Fox, $8,300, looking for about 42 fantasy points out of him. Like I said, somebody's got to score the ball in this lineup. He's the best player they got left, and it's not even close. He's going to be out there doing what he does. I'm not too worried about him being guarded by Tyler Hero or Kendrick Nunn either, so I think it's going to be a pretty good day for him. Dante DiVincenzo, we played him the last time the Bucks played. I like him once again. His price is exactly the same matchup. I don't like the double dip, but on a slate like today where there's not a lot of value, don't mind going to him at all. Then, as small forward, we got LeBron James himself, $10,500, looking for about 53 fantasy points out of him. Goes against the Brooklyn Nets. We all know their defense is nothing special. It's probably going to be a shootout game once again. And if this game's close, LeBron James is going to play massive minutes, and he's probably going to put up another big game. If you're playing on FanDuel and you don't have LeBron James or you don't have Giannis, your lineup's probably not going to end up in the money unless some crazy thing happens today. Then at power forward, I got Marvin Bagley once again. Same thing like we talked about on DraftKings. He is $5,200 over here, so you're looking for about 26 fantasy points out of him. I think he definitely can do that once again. Then last but not least, we got DeAndre Jordan. He's the cheapest of the viable centers, I would say. $5,400, looking for about 27 fantasy points out of him. He's been playing better lately, been playing a little bit more minutes as well. So I think he probably gets you 25, 26, maybe 27. But he's definitely got some upside. I mean, Marc Gasol's a pretty decent defender, but it's not like DeAndre Jordan's getting the ball and trying to score a whole bunch either. Most of his stats are going to come on rebounds, maybe a block or two here, some putbacks, things like that. But with that being said, if you go with these five guys, you have $25,500 left over, but just under $6,400 per player. So you can pay up for some guys, pay down for some guys. Like I said on that DraftKings side, just make sure you're paying attention to the news throughout the day. Once again, I will be posting all the updates as they come out throughout the day down in the comment section below. Just keep in mind that the Toronto-Milwaukee game is the lock time. That's 7:30 Eastern time. And then the other two games are at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So most of that value is probably going to come in those later games. So maybe you play Toronto and Milwaukee a little bit lighter, but I think there's some good value in that game as well. But with that being said, these are my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today. As always, if you guys have any questions about NBA DFS, especially regarding today's slate, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say overall, the questions that you have, and trying to help you guys out the best that I can. But with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Greatly appreciate it. It really helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, and that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys out with your fantasy football, your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL. And then as this offseason goes on, going to be talking a lot of different football news as we move forward into baseball season, be talking some fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well. But with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber is yet to do so, also hit that notification bell that's down below. It's going to let you know every single time I put up a new video. And with that being said, doing NBA DFS videos every single day this week, talking about the picks that I like on both sites. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys do very, very well in NBA DFS tonight. I know some of these shorter slates, some people like them, some people don't. I'm not a fan of slates that are under 4 games, so personally I play a little bit lighter on slates like tonight. Just because there's not as much variance there, it's harder to win big on nights like tonight. Doesn't mean you can't do it, just means it's harder to do so. And with that being said, I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.